Welcome to our 7th episode of Faithful Resistance, where we want to bring you a little information and a little inspiration every week to keep up the good fight. It is good to remember, after all, that you are not alone in trying to find ways to uphold and protect your rights, and to try to uphold and protect the rights of those on the margins. This week, we speak with Dana Miller, who's known fondly in Denver's social justice world as the cheerleader of the universe. It's not much of an exaggeration. Dana joins us to talk about the newly involving, slightly messy, but passion-filled groups called Immigrant Protection Teams. We're so happy to welcome Dana Miller, who is, she is a resistor. She is a resistor on many, many levels. Welcome, Dana. We were hoping today to talk to you mostly about immigrant protection teams. Let's start with just some basics. What is an immigrant protection team, and how does a person get on one?
Yes, so about 5-6 weeks ago, there was a woman named Jenna McAfee who had felt like that there was a real need for the regular folks to be able to get involved in protecting and supporting immigrants in some way, when it became apparent to us that things were going to get pretty hairy around that in our country. So it started out with a couple of teams: Denver, Boulder, Aurora, Arvada. And now we have 21, 22 of them across the state, including in places like Crestone and Gunnison. And so what people do is it's an ad hoc group of people that come together that decide what can we do in our local jurisdiction to support and protect immigrants.
I guess I started with the premise that an immigrant protection team were people who work directly with immigrants. So yes, you're disabusing me of that.
Really, really good question. It could be that. Depends on which team you sign up for. I'm sorry, there's not an easy answer to this, but like, for example, in our Denver team, we now have over 200 members. We have 4 working groups: a legislative working group, a public action working group, a group that's working on changing the narrative around immigrants, and another one about know your rights information. So if you joined the Denver group, you would probably end up self-selecting on one of those working groups. But if you signed up in Aurora or Arvada or Fort Collins, they may not have those working groups. They may be organized somewhat differently.
So they could be doing policy work, they could be doing outreach, they could be doing advocacy, all the things.
They could be setting up public action. Like we have a working group in the Denver group that arranged so that we could be at the hands-off protest on Saturday. So we had a table there and worked with organizers to do that. So it's really any number of things.
How does a person get involved?
Okay, so the way that this is set up is you have the American Friends Service Committee, AFSC, and underneath AFSC, there's a group here in Colorado called Coloradans for Immigrant Rights. Underneath that is Immigrant Protection Teams. But everyone is so freaking busy right now in terms of everything that is going on. I would suggest that people just email me directly if you're interested, and I can give you that email. We don't have a website yet. We've just really started just in the last few weeks. So there's a lot going on, and we have a lot of things we need to put into place in terms of a website and things like that. So it's Dana Miller is pompomdana@gmail.com. So it's POMPOMDANA@gmail.com.
This is the cheerleader aspect of Dana Miller.
Cheerleader of the universe is my tagline.
That's what do you like about being on an IPT so far?
The people that I've met who we've worked with, and there are so many people, Chris, that care so deeply and are so infuriated by what's going on. The people that are just getting kidnapped, people are furious. And it's people's passion and compassion has been the most wonderful thing for me.
Just very recently, the minister at our church, Jefferson Unitarian Church, was preaching about this, and her message was, you don't do this work out of fear and you don't do it out of anger. You do this work out of love.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
And it sounds
Big
like
time.
that's kind of where your heart's coming from.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of that love came from deciding about a year and a half ago to work with a Venezuelan family. And that family has turned out to be a very deep part of who I am. And I would just like to share with everybody that we just got a full-time union job for the dad of the family. Unbelievable. Life-changing for this family. And those kids that they have I feel like they're my grandchildren now. So it's really personal. It's very emotional. It's definitely out of love.
Before we started to do the interview, you talked, though, about another Venezuelan family that's having, well, there are so many that are having a hard time. But tell us about the gentleman who was picked up.
Yeah, I just kind of heard the details about this. So there was a gentleman who was in the Venezuelan camps when all the Venezuelans showed up and they were in those camps. And he was very willing to come in front of city council and do public comment about the situation in the camps and what kind of help they could need. Very brave, very willing to speak out, and very helpful in the camps, helping each other. He was just a great guy. So I just found out that he's been picked up, and his family they did not know where he went. Finally, they did somehow find out that he was deported. He was dropped off on the streets of Caracas with nothing. And his family is here, and people are trying to raise money for the family. But that's just one of the millions of stories that are going on in this country and in this state, with people being completely unjustly detained and deported.
Okay. I want to thank you for helping us understand this organization as it's growing and morphing and evolving, and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And say thank you.
So good to be on and talk about this, because it's really one of the most important things going on in our country right now. So much appreciated.
Now we have some opportunities for action to tell you about. Today, that's Thursday, April 10th, from 5:30 to 8, you can join ACLU of Colorado and the Colorado Immigrants' Right Coalition for a hybrid phone bank to put pressure on state legislators to protect immigrant communities by supporting SB 25-276. The first half hour will be training and tech support, and you'll start making calls at 6 o'clock. SB 25-276 will ensure constitutional protections at public hospitals, public schools, public child care centers, and prohibit local law enforcement from honoring ICE detainer requests without a judicial warrant. We'll put the registration link in the description area under the YouTube screen. This coming Monday, the 14th at 6 o'clock, there's a vigil outside the GO ICE Detention Center in Aurora. That's at 3130 North Oakland Street in Aurora. Vigils will be held every Monday night until immigrant rights activist Jeanette Visquera is released. There are two other bills in the Colorado House that need your phone calls of support. HB 25-1309, which is Protect Access to Gender-Affirming Healthcare, and HB 25-1312, Legal Protections for Transgender Individuals. And if you don't know your legislator, here's an easy way to find. There's a website. It's leg.colorado.gov/find my legislator. That last part is hyphenated. Saturday, April 19th, the next big 50-51 rally at the state capitol is being planned. It is organized by the same people who did the hands-off rally. There'll be many more details to come, like time. We just know it's the 19th. If you want to reach your representatives in Congress to have a little say about what's going on in Washington, we recommend the app 5calls.org. It's customized to your location. And finally, if you have ideas for interviews or events to include, please email us at faithfulresistance@jeffersonunitarian.org. And please share this podcast with your family and friends. We'd like to get the word out to a lot more people. We close today with some words from an article in the UU World magazine from the Unitarian Universalist Association. This is part of what they said. We will act as if no person is disposable. We will refuse the politics of division and despair. We will weave deeper connections with our neighbors. We will fight for our survival. And as we say at JUC, we'll keep doing the next right thing.
Go out and do the next right thing.